During our October 2013 trip to Peru, God blessed us with the opportunity to experience a great harvest for the kingdom. We traveled to many villages, and it soon became obvious that God was always in front of us, preparing the way. Upon arriving in the village of Hongas, we were invited to share the gospel with the students at the secondary school. During that visit, we storied the Bible, beginning with creation and ending with the resurrection and ascension of Jesus. We also shared the gospel using the story of Nicodemus in the 3rd chapter of John. It was evident that God was moving during this time, and the result was 15 students and 2 teachers repenting of their sins and trusting in Christ. Later, the group shared with villagers on the street, and a lady named Leona also made a profession of faith in Jesus Christ. The following evening, a small group returned to Hongas to conduct a Bible study in one of the village's meeting rooms. There were some believers who attended the Bible study, as well as several curious non-believers. During this service, we once again shared the creation to Christ story.
Even though he lived as a man, he resisted temptation.
Incluso él vivió como hombre, pero él también sufrió tentaciones, como cualquier ser humano.
He never sinned and remained obedient to God.
Pero él nunca pecó porque él prefería obedecer a Dios.
The group also used a multicolored soccer ball to share the gospel and explain God's plan of salvation.
God sent his son Jesus to die in our place.
Por eso que Dios tenía un plan y por eso él envió a su hijo Jesucristo para morir por nosotros.
He died and he was buried and he rose again on the 3rd day.
Él murió, él fue enterrado y él resucitó al tercer día.
He came back from death, proving that God has power over death.
Él resucitó de la muerte para probar que era Dios y que Dios tenía poder para resucitarlo.
After a sermon from Matthew chapter 7, one of the men at the meeting indicated that he was ready to give his life to Jesus, and we had the privilege of leading him to faith in Christ. On another evening, the team split into 2 groups and led Bible studies in the village of Lincha and Cajamarca. The group in Lincha had a very productive Bible study with several believers and seekers. As a result, the people of Lincha have requested more in-depth Bible studies in the future, and they have a true desire for deeper discipleship. At the same time, the other group led a Bible study in Cajamarca with a group of people who have never responded to the gospel. After sharing fellowship, a Bible story, and a gospel sermon with the people of Cajamarca, the group had the tremendous privilege of leading 15 villagers to salvation in Jesus Christ. All of these visits to the mountain villages required a great deal of traveling over rough and narrow roads, often after dark. Each of these trips was a 70-kilometer round-trip journey over bumpy and dusty roads, but the harvest that God provided certainly made every aspect of the journey well worth it. Each evening our team arrived back in Catahuasi not only tired and road weary, but also with a great satisfaction in knowing that we had been a part of something truly amazing and life-changing. This trip also had an added element to it because Pastor Victor and a group of 5 ladies also joined us in ministering to the people of Catahuasi and Huayampi. Victor and his group worked tirelessly to evangelize new believers and organize existing believers in the process of meeting together regularly. In addition to leading people to a saving faith in Jesus Christ, Victor led Bible studies in Catahuasi, Huayampi, and Pueblo Antiguo. Because of his leadership in this area, one group has already committed to meeting every week in a home in Pueblo Antiguo, and the vision of planting a church there is well on its way to becoming a reality. Our team also had opportunities to minister in Catahuasi and Pueblo Antigua. One of the greatest blessings of the trip was leading a lady who was dying of cancer to faith in Christ. Lying on her deathbed in a small house in Catahuasi, she repented of her sins and trusted in Jesus for salvation, and for the first time in her life, she is ready for eternity. On our last evening in Catahuasi, the entire group, including Victor's team, held a special event in Pueblo Antigua. During this time, we played games with the kids, provided snacks, told Bible stories, explained the plan of salvation using a soccer ball, and shared the gospel with both kids and adults. It was a great evening of Christian fellowship, and it gave us yet another opportunity to build the relationships that are so critical to planting churches in this area of Peru. This mission trip marked the end of year 3 in our 5-year commitment to this area of Peru. It's a long road, and we've made great strides in our church planting vision. Are we there yet? No. But we serve a great God who is faithfully preparing the road, and we must be faithful in continuing to follow the path that He has set for us.
For God loved the world so much He gave His only Son, that we might have life through Jesus Christ, the only one. To the ends of the earth, this good news must go, till everyone knows. Are we there yet? Have we walked every road, climbed every hill, and told every soul? Gift of a king, how great the price we could never repay. In one act of love, He conquered all sin and still raised today. To the ends of the earth, this good news must go. Until that day comes, I'll be the one to confess His name. Are we there yet? Have we walked every road? down